Jack Adams rode his big black motorcycle down the busy street. It was a hot summer day in London. Jack was not happy. His bike had broken down twice today. His boss had yelled at him for being late, and now his head hurt. Jack had a bad temper. Small things made him very angry. Jack stopped at a red light and wiped sweat from his face. His leather jacket felt too hot, but he loved wearing it. It made him look tough. People moved away when they saw him coming. Jack liked that feeling. As Jack waited for the light to change, he heard a bark. A small brown dog with no collar ran up to his bike. The dog wagged its tail and looked up at Jack with big eyes. It was skinny. Its fur was dirty. The dog was clearly a stray with no home. "Go away," Jack said in a low voice. He didn't like dogs. They were noisy and messy. The dog didn't listen. It jumped up, putting its paws on Jack's leg. Jack shook his leg, but the dog stayed there. People walking by smiled at the cute dog. "I said go away," Jack shouted. The dog barked again, wagging its tail faster. It thought Jack wanted to play. The light turned green. Jack tried to start his bike, but the dog was in the way. Cars behind him honked their horns. This made Jack even angrier. "Move," he yelled. The little dog just barked happily. Jack lost his temper. He kicked out with his heavy boot. His foot hit the dog's side. The dog yelped in pain and ran away. Some people nearby gasped. A woman said something angry to Jack. He ignored them all and started his bike. Jack didn't see the black car that pulled up next to him. He didn't notice the man who got out. Jack was busy trying to start his bike again. "Hey, you," a deep voice called out. "What do you think you're doing?" Jack looked up. His mouth fell open. Standing there, in a tight black t-shirt and jeans, was Jason Statham, the famous movie star, the action hero, the man who could beat up 10 bad guys without breaking a sweat, and he looked very, very angry. "Did you just kick that dog?" Jason Statham asked. His voice was quiet but scary. Jack couldn't speak. His favorite actor was standing right in front of him, and he looked ready to fight. It was in my way," Jack finally said. His voice sounded weak and small. Jason Statham shook his head. "That's not good enough, mate." By now, people had stopped to watch. Some took out their phones to record the famous actor. The small dog had come back and was hiding behind Jason's legs. "That dog wasn't hurting anyone," Jason said. "It's just hungry and lost." Jack felt his face turn red. He felt ashamed. What had seemed like a small thing, kicking an annoying dog, now felt very wrong. "I'm sorry," Jack mumbled. "I had a bad day." "We all have bad days," Jason said. "That's no excuse for hurting someone smaller than you." Jack nodded, looking at the ground. He couldn't meet Jason's eyes. "You know what?" Jason said. "I think you need to learn something today." Jason bent down and gently picked up the small dog. The dog licked his hand and stopped shaking. "Come with me," Jason said to Jack. It wasn't a question. It was an order. Jack looked at his bike, then at the growing crowd, and finally at Jason Statham holding the dog he had kicked. "Okay," he said quietly. Jack had no idea that this moment would change his whole life, all because he kicked a dog, and Jason Statham saw him do it. Jack felt like he was in a dream. Here he was, walking next to Jason Statham, the same Jason Statham from all those action movies Jack loved. But Jason was not happy with him. Not at all. "Where are we going?" Jack asked. His voice was still shaky. "To fix your mistake," Jason said. He held the small dog gently in his strong arms. The dog had stopped shaking now. It seemed to trust Jason already. They walked 3 blocks to a small building with a sign that said, "London Animal Rescue." Jack had passed this place many times on his bike, but never went inside. Jason opened the door and nodded for Jack to go in first. A woman with short gray hair looked up from the front desk. Her eyes got big when she saw Jason. "Mr. Statham, good to see you again," she said with a smile. Then she saw the dog in his arms. Oh no, another stray. Found this little guy on the street, Linda, Jason said. He needs some food and a checkup. Linda came around the desk and took the dog from Jason. She looked at Jack with questions in her eyes. And who's this? She asked. Before Jack could speak, Jason said, This is Jack. He's going to help out here today. He has some things to learn about treating animals right. Linda seemed to understand. She nodded and took the dog to a back room. Jason turned to Jack. Let me tell you something, Jason said in a low voice. I grew up with nothing, but I always had respect for living things. My dad taught me that. How you treat those who can't fight back shows who you really are. Jack felt smaller with each word. He had never thought about it that way. Linda came back. The dog will be fine. Just hungry and scared. No broken bones from that kick. Jack's face turned red again. So she knew what he had done. Good, Jason said. Now Jack here wants to help today. What can he do? Linda smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. We have kennels that need cleaning. 20 of them. Jack wanted to say no. He wanted to get on his bike and ride away. But he couldn't. Not with Jason Statham watching him. Not after what he had done. Show me where to start, Jack said. For the next 4 hours, Jack cleaned dog kennels. He scrubbed floors covered in dog mess. He changed dirty blankets. He filled water bowls. His hands hurt. His back hurt. His expensive leather jacket was dirty now. But something strange happened. The dogs didn't seem to hate him. They wagged their tails when he brought fresh water. The big old dog licked his hand when he patted its head. During a short break, Jack sat on a bench outside. Jason came and sat next to him. Why are you making me do this? Jack asked. Jason looked at him. I'm not making you do anything. You could leave any time. Jack knew that was true, but he also knew he couldn't leave. Not now. I've always had a bad temper, Jack said. Small things make me angry. I don't know why. Jason nodded. I used to be the same. Then I learned that anger hurts you more than anyone else. Jack thought about that. Maybe Jason was right. The little dog you kicked, Jason said. He has no home, no food, and someone just hurt him. But he's not angry. He's already friendly again. Dogs forgive. They move on. People can learn from that. Jack watched through the window as Linda played with the small brown dog. It was jumping and wagging its tail, already happy again. I'll finish the kennels, Jack said. Jason smiled for the first time. Good man. And after that, I have an idea for you. The sun was going down when Jack finished cleaning the last kennel. His arms were tired. His back hurt. But he felt different inside. Calm. Like he had done something good for once. Linda came to check his work. She walked through the clean kennels and nodded. Not bad for a first-timer, she said. The dogs seem to like you. Jack looked around. The dogs were quiet now. Some watched him with friendly eyes. Others slept on their clean blankets. The small brown dog he had kicked was in a special cage near Linda's desk. It wagged its tail when it saw Jack. Jason Statham came back into the room. He had left for a few hours to film a movie scene nearby. Now he was back, still in his movie clothes, a black suit with no tie. How did our new helper do? Jason asked Linda. He worked hard, Linda said. Didn't complain once. Jason looked pleased. He walked over to Jack. Come with me, he said. I want to show you something. They went to a small room at the back of the shelter. Inside were 5 puppies playing together. They were small and fluffy. With big paws they kept tripping over. These pups were found in a trash bag, Jason said. Someone threw them away like garbage. My foundation paid for their care. Jack felt sick thinking about it. Who could do that to puppies? You have a foundation? Jack asked. Jason nodded. The Statham Animal Rescue Foundation. We help shelters like this one. We pay for food, medicine, and finding homes for the animals. The puppies noticed them and came running over. They jumped and played around Jason's feet. He picked one up and handed it to Jack. Jack had never held a puppy before. It was warm and soft. It licked his chin and made a small happy sound. Something tight in Jack's chest seemed to loosen. "Why are you telling me all this?" Jack asked. "Why did you bring me here?" Jason sat on a small bench in the room. "Everyone deserves a second chance. The dogs. And you." Jack carefully put the puppy down. "I'm just a guy with a bike and a bad temper. Why do you care?" "Because someone cared about me once," Jason said. "When I was young, I was heading down a bad road. Someone stopped me, showed me a better way. Now I do the same when I can." They went back to the main room. The small brown dog was now out of its cage. It was eating from a bowl Linda had put down. "What will happen to him?" Jack asked, pointing to the dog. "He needs a home," Linda said. "He's friendly and healthy. Just needs someone to care for him." Jason looked at Jack with a small smile. "What do you think, Jack? Ready for some responsibility in your life?" Jack's eyes got wide. "Me? Take the dog. But I don't know anything about dogs." "You can learn," Jason said. "Linda can teach you. Or what?" Jack asked. "I'm filming a new movie for the next 3 months," Jason said. "We use a lot of trained animals. We need helpers for the animal trainers, people who are patient and careful with the animals." Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You're offering me a job? On a movie set?" "Not yet," Jason said. "First, you need to show me you can change. Come back here tomorrow. And the next day. Help Linda. Learn about the dogs. Take care of the one you hurt. Show me you mean it." Jack looked at the small brown dog. It had finished eating and was watching him. Its tail started to wag slowly. "I'll be here," Jack said. "First thing tomorrow." Jason nodded and held out his hand. They shook hands like equals. "I'll check in with Linda," Jason said. "Don't let me down." Jack watched as Jason said goodbye to Linda and left the shelter. Then he looked back at the small dog. "I guess we both got lucky today," he said softly. The next morning, Jack woke up early. He did not ride his motorcycle to the shelter. Instead, he took the bus. His bike was too loud and might scare the dogs, he thought. When he walked into the shelter, Linda looked surprised to see him. "You really came back," she said. "I said I would," Jack replied. Linda smiled and handed him a blue shirt with the shelter's name on it. "Put this on. You're part of the team now." Jack changed his shirt and got to work. Today Linda taught him how to feed the dogs. Each dog had special food. Some needed medicine in their food. Jack had to be careful and remember which dog got what. The small brown dog that Jack had kicked was doing better. Linda had named him Lucky. "Why Lucky?" Jack asked. "Because he was lucky to meet Jason Statham yesterday," Linda said. "Otherwise, who knows what would have happened to him." Jack felt bad again, thinking about how he had kicked Lucky. He bent down near Lucky's cage. "I'm sorry, buddy," he said softly. Lucky wagged his tail and licked Jack's hand through the cage door. Jack was amazed. The dog had forgiven him already. At lunchtime, a man in a fancy suit came to the shelter. He looked important and busy. "I'm David Parker, Mr. Statham's assistant," he said to Linda. "I'm here to check on Jack Adams and the dog from yesterday." Linda pointed to Jack, who was filling water bowls. David walked over to Jack. "Mr. Statham asked me to see how you're doing. He's filming all day but wanted an update." Jack stood up straight. "I'm learning a lot. The dogs are amazing. They're all different with their own personalities." David nodded and wrote something in his phone. "And the dog you encountered yesterday." Jack walked David to Lucky's cage. "His name is Lucky. He's doing great. No problems from what happened." David looked at Lucky, then at Jack. "Mr. Statham also asked me to give you this." He handed Jack a small card. It had Jason's name and a phone number on it. That's Mr. Statham's personal number, David said. He rarely gives it out. He said to call him in 1 week to discuss the movie job. If Linda gives you a good report. Jack carefully put the card in his wallet. I won't let him down. After David left, Jack worked harder than ever. He walked dogs in the small yard behind the shelter. He helped Linda give baths to 3 dirty dogs that had just been rescued. He even learned how to check if a dog had a fever. At the end of the day, Linda let Jack take Lucky out of his cage for some playtime. He needs exercise and love, Linda said. Both will help him heal faster. Jack sat on the floor and Lucky climbed into his lap. The small dog was warm and his heart beat fast against Jack's hand. Jack had never felt so peaceful. I think he likes you, Linda said. I like him too, Jack said, surprised to find it was true. When it was time to go home, Jack didn't want to leave Lucky. The dog seemed to feel the same way. He whined when Jack put him back in his cage. Can I? Is it possible to adopt him? Jack asked Linda. Linda looked shocked. You want to adopt Lucky? The same dog you kicked yesterday? Jack nodded. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel connected to him now. Like we're both getting a second chance. Linda thought for a moment. We have a process for adoptions. But if you keep coming back, keep learning, and show me you're serious, we can start the paperwork next week. Jack smiled. For the first time in years, he felt happy about something that didn't involve his motorcycle or looking tough. I'll be back tomorrow, he promised. As he walked to the bus stop, Jack thought about how much had changed in just one day. All because he kicked a dog, and Jason Statham saw him do it. Days passed quickly at the shelter. Jack came every day after his regular job. Sometimes he was tired, but he never missed a day. The dogs were always happy to see him, especially Lucky. Lucky was getting stronger. His fur looked better. He had more energy. Jack took him for walks in the park next to the shelter. Lucky loved to chase birds and squirrels. He never caught any, but he had fun trying. On Friday, Linda watched Jack play with Lucky in the yard. You've changed, she said. Jack looked up. What do you mean? When you first came here, you were angry. Your face was hard. Now you smile. You laugh when the dogs do funny things. Jack thought about this. I guess I feel different. Calmer. That's what animals do for us, Linda said. They help us find the best parts of ourselves. That night, Jack went home and looked around his small apartment. There were motorcycle posters on the walls, empty beer cans on the table, dirty clothes on the floor. It wasn't a good place for a dog. Jack started cleaning. He threw away the beer cans. He washed his clothes. He even bought a small plant. By midnight, the apartment looked better. Not perfect, but better. The next day was Sunday. It had been a week since Jack met Jason Statham. Time to make the call. Jack was nervous as he took out the card with Jason's number. He dialed the number. It rang 3 times. Statham here, said the familiar deep voice. Mr. Statham, this is Jack. Jack Adams, from the shelter. Jack, I was hoping you'd call. Linda has told me good things about you. Jack felt proud hearing this. Thank you for giving me a chance, sir. Call me Jason, Statham said. Linda says you've been there every day, working hard, learning fast. Yes, I have. And I hear you want to adopt Lucky, the same dog you kicked a week ago. Jack's face got hot. Yes, is that crazy? Jason laughed. No, mate. That's called growth. That's called becoming a better man. They talked for a few more minutes. Then Jason said, the movie job is yours if you want it. We start filming the animal scenes next month. It pays well. And you can bring Lucky to the set. We have a special place for the crew's pets. Jack couldn't believe it. A job on a movie set, working with animals, and he could bring Lucky. I accept, Jack said quickly. Thank you. Don't thank me, Jason said. You earned it. Oh, and Jack, Sell that motorcycle. Get a car instead. Safer for you and Lucky. After the call, Jack rushed to the shelter. He wanted to tell Linda the good news. When he got there, she was busy with a family. They were looking at dogs to adopt. Jack went to Lucky's cage. Lucky jumped up and wagged his tail when he saw Jack. "Hey, buddy," Jack said. "Guess what? We're going to be together soon, and we have a job on a movie set." Lucky barked as if he understood. Linda came over after the family left. "You look happy," she said. "Jason called me back." Jack told her the good news. Linda smiled. "I already knew. He called me first to make sure you were ready." I told him yes. She handed Jack some papers. "These are the adoption forms for Lucky. You can take him home next week if everything checks out." Jack looked at the forms, then at Lucky. The small dog that had changed his life was watching him with trusting eyes. "One more thing," Linda said. "Jason paid all the adoption fees. He said it's his gift to you both." Jack felt tears in his eyes. He quickly wiped them away. A week ago, he would have been embarrassed to cry. Now he didn't care. "I never thought kicking a dog would be the best mistake of my life," Jack said. Linda patted his shoulder. "Sometimes we find the right path in strange ways." The next week was busy for Jack. He had many things to do before he could take Lucky home. He bought dog food, a soft bed, toys, and 2 food bowls. He found a vet near his apartment. He even put a baby gate at the kitchen door to keep Lucky safe. Jack followed Linda's advice and sold his motorcycle. He used the money to buy a small used car. It wasn't fancy, but it was safe. He could take Lucky places in it. "You really are serious about this," his friend Tim said when Jack told him about selling the bike. "I am," Jack said. "Things are different now." Tim laughed. "All because of a dog and Jason Statham." "No," Jack said, "because I decided to change." The day finally came to take Lucky home. Jack filled out the last papers at the shelter. Linda gave him a folder with Lucky's medical records. "He's up to date on all his shots," she said. "And he's been fixed, so no puppies." Jack put Lucky's new collar and leash on him. Lucky wagged his tail so hard his whole body shook. "I think he knows he's going home with you," Linda said with a smile. "Home," Jack said. The word felt good. For a long time, his apartment had just been a place to sleep. Now it would be a home for him and Lucky. As Jack was about to leave, Linda handed him a small bag. "This is from Jason," she said. "He dropped it off yesterday." Inside the bag was a book called Dog Training for Beginners and a note that said, "For you and Lucky. See you on set next month. J.S." There was also a special dog tag for Lucky's collar. It had Lucky's name on one side. On the other side it said, "Second chances matter." Jack put the tag on Lucky's collar. "Ready to go home, buddy?" Lucky barked once, as if saying yes. The first night at home was interesting. Lucky sniffed every corner of the apartment. He jumped on the couch and rolled on his back. He played with his new toys. He made the place feel alive. At bedtime, Jack put Lucky's new bed next to his own. But in the middle of the night, he felt something warm against his side. Lucky had jumped up and was sleeping next to him. Jack didn't have the heart to move him. The next morning, Jack took Lucky for an early walk. They passed a coffee shop where Jack used to stop on his way to work. The owner, Mrs. Chen, came out when she saw them. "Jack Adams, is that you?" she asked, looking surprised. "Good morning, Mrs. Chen," Jack said. "You look different," she said. "And you have a dog now." "This is Lucky," Jack said. "He's changed my life." Mrs. Chen bent down to pet Lucky. "He's very sweet. Would you like your usual coffee? And maybe some water for your dog?" They sat at an outside table. Jack drank his coffee while Lucky lapped water from a bowl Mrs. Chen brought. The morning sun felt warm. People walked by on their way to work. Some smiled at Lucky. Jack's phone rang. It was his boss. "Adams, where are you? You're late again." Jack took a deep breath. "I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, but I need to tell you something. I'm giving my 2 weeks' notice. I got a new job." There was silence on the phone. Then, "What new job?" "Working with animals on a movie set," Jack said. It still didn't sound real when he said it out loud. "A movie set? You?" His boss sounded shocked. "Yes, it's time for a change." After hanging up, Jack looked at Lucky. That was scary, but it felt good. Lucky put his paw on Jack's hand, as if to say, "Good job." Jack smiled. His old life was falling away piece by piece. His new life was just beginning. And it all started with a kick and a famous actor who cared. 1 month passed quickly. Jack and Lucky settled into a happy routine together. Each morning they went for a walk. Then Jack would go to work at his old job while Lucky stayed home. In the evening, they went to the park or the shelter where Jack still helped out twice a week. The day finally came for Jack to start his new job. He was nervous as he drove to the movie set with Lucky sitting in the passenger seat. The security guard at the gate checked Jack's name on a list. "Adams, Jack, animal handler assistant. You can park over there," the guard said, pointing to a lot filled with cars and trucks. Jack drove where the guard pointed. He put Lucky's leash on, and they walked toward a group of trailers. Jack didn't know where to go. Everything was busy and confusing. A woman with a clipboard saw him looking lost. "Can I help you?" she asked. "I'm Jack Adams, the new animal handler assistant. This is my first day." The woman smiled. "I'm Sarah, the production assistant. We've been expecting you." She looked down at Lucky. "And this must be the famous Lucky we've heard about." Jack was surprised. "You know about Lucky?" "Everyone knows the story," Sarah said. "How Jason found you kicking a dog and turned you into an animal lover. It's like a movie itself." Jack felt his face get hot. He didn't like being known as the guy who kicked a dog. Sarah led them to a large tent set up away from the main filming area. Inside were many animals. Dogs of all sizes, cats, birds, and even a monkey. People in blue shirts like Jack's were taking care of them. A tall man with gray hair came over. "You must be Jack. I'm Mike, the head animal trainer. Jason told me about you." Jack shook his hand. "Thanks for giving me this chance." Mike bent down to pet Lucky. "And this is the little guy who started it all. He'll be fine here in the animal tent while you work." Jack looked worried. "Can he stay with me? He gets nervous around too many other animals." Mike thought for a moment. "Tell you what, let's see how he does with some of our veteran dogs. If he's calm, he can be your assistant." Mike introduced Lucky to 2 large, gentle dogs who worked in movies. Lucky sniffed them carefully, then wagged his tail. The big dogs seemed to accept him right away. "Good sign," Mike said. "Now let me show you what you'll be doing." Jack's job was to help prepare the animals for their scenes. He had to brush them, keep them calm, and make sure they had water and rest. It wasn't hard work, but it needed patience and a gentle touch. Jack was good at it from his time at the shelter. At lunchtime, Jack sat outside with Lucky eating a sandwich. A black SUV pulled up, and Jason Statham stepped out. He was dressed as his movie character in a black suit with fake blood on his face. Jack stood up quickly. "Mr. Statham. I mean, Jason." Jason smiled and shook Jack's hand. "How's the first day going?" "It's great," Jack said. "Everyone is so nice." Jason knelt down to pet Lucky. "And how's this little champion doing?" "He's made friends with the other dogs. Mike says he can be my assistant." Jason laughed. "Promotion on the first day. That's impressive." They talked for a few minutes about the job. Then Jason had to go back to filming. Before he left, he said, "Some of the crew are going for drinks Friday after work. You should come." "Me?" Jack was surprised. "Yes, you. You're part of the team now, Jack." After Jason left, Jack sat back down with Lucky. A year ago, Jack would never have imagined this life. He was working on a movie set. Jason Statham knew his name. He had a dog who loved him. His angry days seemed far away now. "We got lucky, didn't we, boy?" Jack said, scratching Lucky behind the ears. Lucky wagged his tail and put his head on Jack's knee. It was all the answer Jack needed. The rest of the week went by fast. Jack enjoyed every minute of his new job. He learned how to care for the animals on set, help them stay calm, and make sure they were ready for filming. Lucky stayed by his side the whole time. Everyone on the crew loved Lucky. Some even brought him treats. On Friday, the team finished filming early. People were excited for the evening. They talked about going out for drinks and relaxing after a long week. Jack was a little nervous. He wasn't sure if he should go. He had never done anything like this before. Mike walked over to him while he packed up. "Hey Jack, are you coming tonight? The team wants you there," he said. "I don't know. I don't really go out much," Jack replied. Mike smiled. "Don't worry. It's just a small group. We'll grab food, talk, and have a few laughs. It's nothing fancy." Jack looked down at Lucky. Lucky wagged his tail, as if to say, "Go." "All right, I'll come," Jack said with a smile. Later that night, Jack arrived at a cozy little restaurant near the studio. It was loud and full of laughter. The crew had taken over 2 big tables. Jason Statham waved him over. "Jack, over here," Jason shouted. Jack joined them and sat next to Sarah and Mike. Lucky stayed under the table, resting quietly. Everyone was happy to see Jack there. They asked him about his first week, and he told them funny stories about the animals. One of the crew members, a man named Carlos, leaned over. "Hey Jack, Jason told us you used to hate dogs. That true?" Jack laughed, a little embarrassed. "Yeah, it's true. I was angry back then. I didn't know how much animals could change a person." "Well, you're a natural with them now," Carlos said. "I saw how calm that cat was in your arms today. That cat never lets anyone touch her." "Thanks," Jack said, surprised. "I guess I'm learning." The night went on with jokes, food, and stories. Jack felt like he truly belonged. It was the first time in a long time that he felt part of something good. As they were leaving, Jason walked with Jack to his car. "You did well this week, Jack. I'm proud of you," Jason said. "Thank you. I still can't believe I'm here," Jack replied. "Believe it," Jason said. "You're not the same man from before. You changed, and people notice." Jack looked at Lucky, who was sitting in the passenger seat, his eyes half closed. "He changed me," Jack said. "I was lost, but Lucky showed me the way." Jason nodded. "That's what dogs do. They find us when we need them most." The next morning, Jack woke up early, full of energy. He wanted to do something nice for Lucky. After breakfast, he drove to a pet store and bought Lucky a new bed, a shiny collar, and a squeaky toy shaped like a bone. Back home, Lucky ran around with the toy, squeaking it over and over. Jack laughed. "You like it, huh? You deserve it, buddy." Later, they went to the shelter where Jack still volunteered. When they walked in, a little girl and her mother were looking at the animals. The girl looked sad. Jack walked over and smiled. "Looking for a dog?" "Yes," the girl said softly. "Our dog died last month. I miss him a lot." Jack knelt down beside her. "Dogs are special. They don't just live in your house. They live in your heart." She smiled a little. "I want a dog who understands me." Jack looked at one of the quiet dogs in the back. He had soft eyes and a calm look. "What about him?" Jack asked. The girl walked over slowly. The dog wagged his tail once and looked up at her. "He's perfect," she whispered. Jack watched as the girl sat with the dog. Lucky came over and sat next to them. It felt right. Jack knew in that moment that his life had changed forever. And now, he was helping others change too. Jack's second week on the movie set began early Monday morning. The sun was just rising when he arrived with Lucky. The set was quiet, but the animal tent was already busy. Mike was brushing a golden retriever while a bird trainer gave snacks to 2 colorful parrots. "Morning, Jack," Mike said, looking up. "We've got a busy day. One of the dogs has an important scene." "Which one?" Jack asked, placing his bag down. "Rex, the big German shepherd. He has to run into a burning building. Well, a fake one. And rescue a toy. We're training him to do it safely." Jack nodded. "What should I do?" "Help calm the other animals. They get nervous when there's fire, even if it's not real. Also, Lucky might help with that. He has a calming presence." Jack smiled. Lucky always knew how to stay calm, even in loud, strange places. Later in the day, Jack stood near the set with Lucky by his side. The crew was filming a dramatic scene. Fake smoke filled the air. Lights flashed like fire. Rex waited with his trainer, ready for action. Jack watched closely. The director shouted, "Action." Rex ran through the open door, barked twice, then came out holding a toy in his mouth. Everyone cheered. "Perfect," the director yelled. But suddenly, a loud bang came from a nearby tent. One of the lights had fallen. A few animals got scared. A small white dog started barking and tried to run. Jack moved quickly. He picked up the dog and held it gently. "It's okay, little one. You're safe," he whispered. Lucky came over and sat next to them. His calm eyes helped the dog relax. "You're getting really good at this," Sarah said, walking over. "Thanks. I'm just trying to do what Lucky taught me," Jack replied. Later that evening, Jason stopped by the tent. "Hey, Jack, how's our dog Whisperer doing?" Jack laughed, "Just trying to keep everyone happy." "Well, you're doing great," Jason said. "Actually, I have a question. There's a scene coming up with a dog and a kid. The kid actor is nervous around animals. I was thinking, maybe Lucky could help." Jack looked at Lucky. "Do you want to be in the movie, boy?" Lucky wagged his tail like he understood. "Great," Jason said. "The scene is small, just a few minutes, but it's important. Think you two can handle it?" "We'll try our best," Jack said. The next day, Lucky was cleaned, brushed, and ready for his big moment. The scene was simple. A boy would be sitting on a bench, sad. Lucky was supposed to walk over, sit beside him, and rest his head on the boy's knee. Before the camera rolled, the young actor looked nervous. He stayed close to his mom, holding her hand. Jack walked over with Lucky. "Hi, I'm Jack, and this is Lucky. He's friendly and gentle. Want to say hello?" The boy slowly reached out. Lucky sniffed his hand, then licked it gently. The boy smiled. "He's soft." Jack nodded. "He likes people, especially kind ones." The director shouted, "Quiet on set." The scene began. The boy sat on the bench. Lucky walked over just like they practiced. He sat beside the boy and gently laid his head down. "Cut." "That was perfect," the director said. Everyone clapped. The boy laughed and hugged Lucky. After the scene, the boy's mom came to Jack. "Thank you. He was so scared before, but your dog helped him a lot." Jack looked at Lucky with pride. "He helps everyone," Jack said. That evening, back at home, Jack sat on the couch with Lucky. They were both tired but happy. "You were amazing today," Jack whispered. "A real movie star." Lucky licked his face and wagged his tail. Jack smiled. "From the streets to the screen, huh? We've come a long way, boy." Lucky curled up beside him, and they both rested. Outside, the stars shined, but inside, Jack felt brighter than ever. He was no longer lost. He had a purpose, a job he loved, and a friend who never left his side. And their story was just beginning.